Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another retro RPG. And at the end of another week and the end of another poll, we've got a clear winner with Secrets of Japan for Call of Cthulhu. Now, I'll have a look at that at the desktop in a wee second. But just a reminder, if you want to see these videos a week early, if you click on the Patreon in the description below, you can gain access to them a week before everybody else. But the videos will continue to be free for everyone. Anyway, I'll be back at the end of the video with some other poll-related stuff and some other channel-related stuff, so I hope to see you there. So, this is Secrets of Japan, a Call of Cthulhu sourcebook which came out in 2005. Now, although it's labelled for Cthulhu now, it actually supports a range of different time periods, including some it suggests itself, different ones. But we'll come to that as we look through. Now, this is a very thick book. It's 360 pages long. That is a weighty tome. That's thicker than a lot of rule books. In fact, I think it's thicker than the copy of Call of Cthulhu I've got itself. And there's a lot of great stuff in here. It didn't approach the subject of Japan in the way I thought. But we'll see that as we go through. Now, first of all, I've got to comment that I'm trying a new lighting rig. I tried one last week, which left a big gleam on the top of the pages. Now I'm trying a slightly different one, but unfortunately now we've got the shadow of my camera between the light and the book. But at least it's not shining. You can see the cover pretty well. We'll see if we can fix that as the weeks go on. Anyway, flipping over to the back. Secrets of Japan, a guide to role-playing in present-day Japan. Two Japans. One is bright, modern, technical wonder of glass and steel. The other is a shadowy labyrinth of corrupt feudal customs. Both uneasily coexist on a string of volcanic islands in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of China. This coveted archipelago is a battleground for primordial entities who once ruled the Empire of the Sun, who remember a golden age, and will themselves not be forgotten. Azathoth, Hastur, Yig, Nyarlathotep, Cthulhu. Japan, a cold glittering star of enlightenment in the black void of ultimate cosmic truth. The millennium is here. The third and final age of man is over. Mappo has come. Buddha will not save you. Secrets of Japan contains a comprehensive portrayal of the culture, history, and people of Japan presented in a Lovecraftian setting. Japan is the playground of over 2 millennia of history and culture. Here is a new world of possibilities for keepers investigators wishing to take their adventures east. And it does all that. It really approaches Japan and tries to be completionist. The writer of this is a professor, I believe, who studies Japan. So is definitely very, very knowledgeable. This just wasn't written by a fanboy. So we've got some lovely stylized artwork throughout. Here's a very traditional looking Japanese painting with the style of waves and the mountain, but with Cthulhu wading ashore. Very, very nice. We've got Howard Phillips, as we always do inside these books. Dedication and the table of contents. Front matter disclaimer. And then we've got the Yonasuni Monuments, which is a story to get us into the setting. I've skimmed through it. It seems reasonable enough. I'm not that much of a fan in fiction at the start of books. It always tends to be not as high quality as you could go out and buy a book, but it's entertaining enough. It gets you into the setting a little. And then we've got the introduction setting. How to use this book. Imperfect mirrors. The horrid humour. Islands of mystery. Cthulhu in a kimono. Japanese, so how the vowels are pronounced. Language structure. Talking about politeness levels. Honorifics. Sacred origins of the Japanese language. Really going into detailed background stuff. Now, one of the things I'm not that keen about is these. There are short cartoons, 4-panel cartoons here, every few pages. And the art's sub-newspaper standard. I like myself some Calvin and Hobbes and different newspaper cartoons in this format. But this is just really low quality. I suppose there's some role-playing jokes here, but I'm not that much of a fan of it. A section on role-playing, so something is coming to today's Japan. Man and machine, slice of life, keys to the setting, just detailing everything. And now we have some absolutely lovely artwork. Very traditional in style, but also modern setting. So, themes. The traditional look and the modern look. Call of Cthulhu anime style. Because, of course, Cthulhu himself is just a tentacle monster. And that's quite common in anime. So we go through some ideas of that, getting ideas, slithering anime tentacles and Cthulhu, further anime and manga resources. Just giving you an idea what you could do to make a Japanese animation style Cthulhu campaign. Really quite interesting. Handling Japanese investigators, going through the elements which make up them. So we have there unending obligation, shame, group and self, going by the rules. Native Japanese characterization rules. Name reference chart, how to make up names or choose authentic sounding ones. Foreigners raised in Japan. Society, a final thought. Then we've got the occupations. So different types of occupations which are more native to Japan than would be the typical ones in the rulebook. Handling foreign investigators, reasons they might come to Japan. So if you're just going to use this as a place that your players visit at some point rather than a setting. So we've got culture shock, mental health, about the Japanese displaying emotion, for example, their composure, eating disorders, phobias and tics. Culturally specific mental illnesses. So we've got karoshi there, the death by overwork, people working themselves to death. Xenophobia, hikikomori, to withdraw from society. Again, a small cartoon. Skills in Japan. So we've got modified skills and updated skills. So new skills. We've got the Bushido, channel spirit, corporate culture, oriental medicine, calligraphy. More traditional ones. The Japanese martial arts. Playing a sumo investigator, playing a ninja investigator. These seem a bit cliched, but I don't think the book would be complete without them. A basic primer on the geography, so the islands themselves. Now, I'm not a fan of the way they reproduce the maps. This was 2005, so they should have been able to do better maps than this in a book, because these do look like photocopies. But we go throughout the islands and the districts of Japan. So we've got Kyoto there, we've got transport between them, mass communications, just giving you an idea about what it would be to visit the place and get around. Not the people, but the place. Japanese etiquette, Japanese yen. Costs and equipment in yen. So various equipment, legal weapons, katanas, tashi, kendo armor. They're on to a dark perspective. Japanese belief systems in the world of Cthulhu mythos. So we've got degenerate Buddhism, going into Buddhism and explaining how that fits into the mythos. We've got karma, enlightenment. Really goes in detail here beyond anything I've read before in a role-playing game. Then we've got Buddhist occupations. Buddhism in game terms. So magic points and how that fits into the magic system of Call of Cthulhu. Different types of kami magic, Shinto, just going through all the different religions and that, other perspectives. We've got dark Taoism and Taoist magic, different skills. The catalogue in Nipponica. Histories and rumours of unspeakable tomes are gathered for reference. So magic books which are more unique to the Japanese culture rather than just the Necronomicon and the various books within the main rules. The Scroll of the Hells, the Forbidden Sutra, Black Arts Craft of Kotodama, The Mysterious Path, Memoirs of a Demon, Book of Myth, The Sixth Ring, Supernatural Japonica. So we've got some details here of further reading, basically. A Japanese grimoire. So we've got the spells. So not only the summon elder ones or whatever spells, you've got contact deity, contact kutsune, Dragon's Wrath. More culturally appropriate spells. Native treasures, the various magical items within the Cthulhu mythos. Again, we've gone to photographs of items, which I'm not massively keen on. I'd have much preferred had illustrations, but they can absolutely draw everything, and there are a few illustrations here. Carry on through this section. Light and Shadow, wherein new heroes are introduced and schemes are set in motion. So we've got various characters here for using within the setting, their profiles, and then some background information in the form of short stories. Institution organizations and power groups, so the imperial household, the role of the emperor, the rule of the emperor, the Japanese government, self-defense forces, so the military, the national police force, education. We've just got various stuff here to flesh out the world. You know, the Yakuza. We've got section 3. Cults and secret societies. The Buddha's tears. The different cultists. The Brotherhood of the Black Lotus. Dragon Lords. Project Yokai. I'm kind of flicking through here. Quickly, we've got allies and enemies, so people of import. So this is real sort of NPC stuffs with all their stats. The Yotsubushi Saimek division. Well, this is onto manga or anime, because that is the Guyver Bio Booster armor. I watched those movies, the series, back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I was very surprised. You know, that's the total symbiote which you use to get Guyver armor. What was the movie called? Guyver Dark Hero as well, the live action one, which I actually really liked. But I was so surprised to see them ripping this off. But it's not the last rip-off we're going to see as we get through. So we've got Biomorph Tech, pulling the strands of DNA. So if you want to have alien tech being used, in the style of various anime, you can have that. Various NPCs working for that. As you can see as well, the binding has begun to break, the spine. Even though this book hasn't been heavily used, it has dried out and the spine has started to crack, which is slightly annoying. Inhabitants of the realms. So, various spirits and godly powers. So, we have various gods and things here. The Botsu, outer god. Lord Buddha, the enlightened one. We've got the heavenly realms with the various gods from there. Obviously making it all far more Japanese than just using your standard ones, but tying them all into Cthulhu and Nyarlathotep and Azathoth and all the other elder gods. It's all part of it. We've got various lesser independent races. So rather than just having Migo and Elder Ones, we've got Kappa, which are Japanese demon things which carry water in their head, and if the water is spilled, they are defeated. Kitsune. Japanese dragons. Tengu. I thought they were more bat people, but they appear to be bird people. Maybe I got mixed up with something else. The Yokai. Ona. I'm going to probably try and give up pronouncing these because I'm probably doing a terrible job. Bekaniko. Realms of the Dead. So we've got various undead, which are Japanese cultural. Elder gods. Oni. Large demonic beings. Astral serpents. An avatar of Nyarlathotep. The Elder Lama. The avatar of Hastur. As we carry on through, we have Gezira here, who doesn't sound like much until we see the picture of him. Gezira, see page 258. Anglicized to Godzilla in the West, little is known of the real non-movie monster other than it became active in the Pacific after nuclear bomb tests in the 1950s. Yes, in Secrets of Japan, Godzilla is real. I'm not keen on that idea. It seems a bit silly. But okay, if that's what they want to go for, I suppose anybody can incorporate anything they want. But I think the mythos would definitely be out there if Tokyo was getting stomped every couple of years by a giant dinosaur. I skipped over that. We've got starter scenarios, so various adventure ideas here. I'll go through these fairly quickly. Different scenarios set in Japan so you don't have to write your own. We've got seed adventures here, so just lots of ideas which you can flesh out if you want. There are loads of these which I absolutely love. I'm always a fan of games which give you tons of ideas, and this does not limit them. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per pages, and we've got about 20 pages, so there's probably about 100 ideas in there. Fantastic. Section 3, One Step Beyond. Ideas for keepers wishing to take the Japanese setting beyond the parameters offered in this book. So we've got historical settings. So not only can you have Japanese adventures within modern day, you can go to feudal Japan, the Tokugawa era of Japan, the Meiji Japan, 1890s, Taisho Japan, just throughout various eras. And it's giving you lots of things here, information on the history, so you could make your setting there. We've got a cultural lexicon, so regions and cities, urban scenes, philosophy, social theories, religious theories. We've got on to timelines, so disasters, strife, and noteworthy. Just a timeline of Japan and the various things which have happened in it, in reality and within the Cthulhu mythos. The mysterious, disturbing, and weird. The Silk Road. The mythos crawls the pathways of Asia. So various countries around there which are very much linked. So Bhutan, Burma, Myanmar, Cambodia, China, Hong Kong, India, Korea, North and South, Laos, Malaysia, and so many more right up to Vietnam. Just all the countries of Southeast Asia. We've got the University of Tokyo, so obviously Miskatonic University is a major place in Cthulhu adventures where you can go to research stuff, but without having to fly out the country, they're introducing University of Tokyo and detailing out its layout and the points of interest and the things it's got available to you. You know, their mythos tomes detailed, their different departments, you know, archaeology department, cryptozoology. Then we've got selected bibliography and reading list to have other sources to get to, different internet sites, Japanese investigator, character sheet, and then some maps, you know, the Tokyo subway guide, and an index at the back. Now, very finally, we have a very cheeky little chibi Cthulhu, which I thought they were advertising something, but it is just in universe. We've got a bit about the author. He earned a Bachelor of Sociology in Japanese Studies at Florida State University. Attempted to also attend a Temple University exchange program in Tokyo for a time. So the guy knows his stuff. It's very detailed. There's also an advert at the back here for Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth, which is a fantastic game. I played that through, absolutely loved it. I'm definitely thinking about trying to get hold of it again. I kind of skipped over one of the pages with ridiculous artwork because there was there it is. So a Hello Kitty Cthulhu with the tentacles on the face. I have never seen anything more ridiculous, and I have never liked anything more. That's really cool and stupid. So that was Secrets of Japan for Call of Cthulhu, and that won the poll with a resounding 33% of the vote, way ahead of the second position, which was the Sovereign Stone game system, with only 19%, so a full 14% between them. But the way the poll's been working recently, the game that I've been adding has always been winning. So for the past 4 months, Sovereign Stone, Cyber Generation, Conspiracy X, and Dark Tech have all been there, but never winning. So this week, I've decided to have a complete fresh sweep. So everything is dropped. Secrets Japan goes out because we've got a video on it, but all the other 4 games are just gone for the moment. I'm not saying I won't come back to them in the future, but it's obvious that they're not popular enough at the moment, so they're gone. So I have added the World Book 8 for Rifts, which is Japan, to keep on the tone of Japan. Let's see how Rifts handled it, because it's a game of massive mecha sets of armour anyway, so Japan just really seems to fit in quite nicely. I've added the movie trilogy sourcebook for the Star Wars role-playing game from West End Games. Now, it covers a lot of the same material as the main rulebook, but it's an interesting look, and it's one of the few hardback books I haven't covered yet, so I thought that'd be interesting to have a look at. We've got the Brotherhood sourcebook for Mutant Chronicles. Now, Mutant Chronicles is all about demonic beings attacking a high-tech cyberpunk-style society in the far future spread across the solar system. But the Brotherhood are the religious cultists who fight it, so they are a particularly interesting and different addition to a cyberpunk near-future setting. We've got Virtual Realities, which is the last of the extra books for Shadowrun First Edition, because we've covered the Rigger Black book, we've covered the Grimoire, we've covered the Street Samurai catalogue, which all fleshed out those classes, basically, within the role-playing game. But Deckers hadn't been added to, and Virtual Realities buffs up cyberspace and Deckers within Shadowrun, so it might be interesting to have a look at that. And finally, And a 10-Foot Pole, a sourcebook for Rolemaster, which aims to flesh out various eras and provide comprehensive equipment lists for all of those. It's a really interesting idea, and I haven't covered Rolemaster for a very long time, so I thought it might be quite interesting to cover as well. But 5 new games, I love them all, let's see how they go. But anyway, as usual, I think I've whittled on for quite long enough, so thank you very, very much for watching. And, as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.